Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to Less Dependent Wisconsin. It's getting to be the late part of February, early part of March. Weather's finally starting to get nice. Sun's been down, but it's about 30 degrees right now. It's nice to get out and get some fresh air. But anyways, tonight we are going to be making pickled quail eggs. And the specific type we're going to be making is a spicy garlic. So here we go. In order to make pickled quail eggs, the first thing you need is quail eggs. I've collected these over the last week. I've got 40 eggs here. A wide mouth pint jar will fit 20 eggs. So we're going to have 2 jars of pickled eggs when we're done. One thing I wanted to point out to you is if you look at these 2 eggs, see how this one is considerably bigger? That's because it's probably got a double yolk, meaning it's not a fertile egg. So the only thing to do is eat it. Okay, so we've got our boiling water going, and what we're going to do is we're going to drop some eggs into the boiling water with a slotted spoon gently, and repeat until all eggs are in the water. Now, if your eggs are cold, you're going to kind of want to adjust the temperature because we want this to be at a boil when we put the last eggs in. Alright. And now we start the timer. I'm going to do it for 6 minutes because the water's not quite up to a boil yet. And start. Okay, the eggs have just come off after the 6 minutes. And now we're going to put them into an ice water bath to cool them down quickly. I'm kind of new to this, so I'm still learning as I go. I'm making a mistake here and there. What's the expression? Can't make a good omelet without breaking a few eggs. Alright. Last one. Okay, so they are now chilling. We're going to let them cool down for quite a bit before we get to the next step of peeling them. And I got a special surprise for you on this one. Okay, the eggs have been cooled. It took about 15 minutes to get those done, but now I've put them in a separate plastic bowl. At this point in time, to make the pickled quail eggs, we're going to have to peel the eggs. You can go in, you can find the egg sac, break into there. There's a membrane. Once you get through the membrane, then you kind of peel the shell off. They generally come off pretty easy, but it is a little tedious. But if you're going to be making pickled quail eggs, I actually found a recipe on justapinch.com. It's for Cajun pickled quail eggs by Donna G. I'm not going to butcher your last name, Donna. She's from Bayou Country, Louisiana. She gives a great piece of advice. If you cover the eggs in vinegar, just simple distilled white vinegar, and let them sit for about 16 hours, what'll happen is the color will come off the eggs. The eggs themselves will become very rubbery, and it makes it super, super easy to peel them. I'll be able to get through this whole batch of 36 eggs in about 20 minutes once they're all done tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and put the vinegar on now. And it's cool. We're going to come back in 5 minutes. I'll put these in the fridge, but we're going to come back in 5 minutes, and you're going to start to see the color come off the eggs. It's pretty cool. So hold tight for just a minute, and through the magic of television, and bam, through the magic of television, 10 minutes has passed. So anyways, you can see the acid from the vinegar is starting to do its thing with the eggs. You know, they're bubbling, they're spinning around there, but the outer color's coming off. That's the first step in this whole process. Okay, now what'll happen is over the next 15, 16 hours, I'm going to put these in the fridge, and they're just going to keep getting worked on by the vinegar. Another reason to do this, you know, it makes sense because we're going to be putting them in a vinegar brine. So why not go this method? It just makes life real easy. So we're going to see you in 16 hours. Okay, 16 hours have passed. As you can see, the color is completely off the eggs. Or it's getting off the eggs. But the shells are rubbery. So now we're going to go ahead and peel them. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so you're going to take your egg, you're going to find your air sac, and you're going to just gently start peeling it away. See how it's rubbery? And boom. Perfect hard-boiled egg for pickling. Do one more for you. There you go. And it's surprising how fast you can go through these. Boom. Another beautiful egg. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with doing the rest of these, so I'm going to keep at this, and I'll see you when we're done. Now that I started this one, might as well finish it for you. And boom, perfect. All right, see you in a bit. Now it's time to make the brine for the pickled eggs. I'm going to be making a spicy garlic pickled egg today, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the brine. First step, we need white vinegar. Okay, and I'm going to be doing, since I'm going to be doing 2 jars, of basically doubling my recipe. So it's going to be 2 full cups of vinegar. I'm using a 1/2 cup measuring, so alright, 2 cups of vinegar. Now we're going to be adding a cup of water. So if you're basically going to make 1 jar, you just half this recipe. I've got a 1/2 cup of sugar. It'd be a 1/4 cup if you were using a single recipe. And now we're going to start adding the flavoring. So I've got crushed red pepper here. We're going to be doing a full tablespoon of that. Pickling spice. A full tablespoon of that as well. And then Frank's Red Hot. I'm going to add 1 drop for every egg. All right. Give that a quick stir. You can kind of see what that looks like. We are going to put this on the stove, get it to a boil, and then we'll start prepping the eggs in the jars. Okay, while the brine's heating up, we're going to go ahead and assemble the jars. I've got a whole bulb of garlic here, and some of the pieces were kind of large, so I did cut them in half, some of the cloves rather. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put 3 cloves into a jar, 3 cloves into a jar, 3 eggs, 3 eggs, 3 more garlic, 4 eggs, couple more. Now you're going to shake the jar over the course of the week, so don't worry if all the garlic's at the bottom. It's going to infuse real well. The garlic will actually be pickled when you're done, so you'll be able to eat that as well. Pickled garlic's delicious. Alright. And there we go. So now we're just going to wait for the brine to boil. Once the brine's boiled, we'll add that to the jars. We'll seal them up and put them in the fridge. Okay, the brine came to a boil. I just took it off the stove. And so now we're going to start adding it to our jars. Now, this is probably the messiest part of the whole operation, but now if you wanted to give the eggs some color, you could add some dye to it. Red dye will turn them red, you know, etc. But we're just going to go with the natural color here. And you're going to fill them all the way to the top. Okay, I'm going to take a wet rag, kind of clean the edges up a little bit. Okay. Now this is a cold pickle, okay, meaning these are just going to be stored in the refrigerator. These are not considered canned. You cannot can eggs. There isn't enough acid in it to do it. And there we go. Spicy garlic pickled quail eggs. We're going to put these in the refrigerator for a week, and I'll pull them out, give them a taste test. Okay, so it's been a week, and the pickled quail eggs are done. I did shake them up every day or so to get the flavors all in there. You can see the garlic. But then here's the actual eggs. How they look like. I cut one in half. I'm giving it the old taste test. Right up front, you get sweet, you get garlic, and then the heat is at the end. Boy, these are delicious. Anyways, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. We'll be making more content like this as we go along. So, y'all have a great evening. Focus on being less dependent. Talk to you soon. I'm going to eat this one too.